Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of No Huddle with Zach Arndt. And today we have part 2 of the RBU series. We're looking at the best universities that have had the best running backs in the history of college football. And today we're looking at numbers 5 through 1. And we do have a tie at number 2 in this list, and you'll find out shortly who those two teams are. Starting off with the USC Trojans, Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, they took his Heisman away. That doesn't take away from the fact that he's one of the greatest running backs in college football history. Following Reggie Bush, we got Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson, Charles White, who I believe had over 6,000 career yards. He's up there with Ron Dane and some of those guys for the most yards of all time. You got Anthony Davis, Ricky Bell, John Arnett, and then Ronald Jones, who's currently in the NFL. So there's the USC Trojans. Following them, we got Georgia, Herschel Walker, also a guy who many consider to be the greatest running back of all time. Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, a great big three right there. All pretty recent too. James Cook, he just got drafted this year. DeAndre Swift, great start to his NFL career. Garrison Hurst, Terrell Davis. I'm sure many of you know who Terrell Davis is. He went on to have a great career in the NFL. And then finishing out the Georgia list, we have Knowshon Moreno. Now, here's where stuff gets interesting. These next two teams you can put at anywhere in the top 3, in my opinion. But I have Wisconsin as 2B behind Ohio State, who's at 2A. Starting off with Wisconsin, Ron Dane, the all-time leading rusher, I believe, still in college football history. Following Monty Ball. Monty Ball, he had 38 total touchdowns in a single season back in 2011. I'll never forget that. I think it was 32 rushing touchdowns and 6 receiving touchdowns. Absolutely incredible. Then you have Melvin Gordon, who was a Heisman candidate, Heisman runner-up in 2014, I believe. Jonathan Taylor, who for only 3 seasons, he had over 5,000 yards, maybe pushing 5,500. I'm not sure the exact number, but what a 3-year stretch Jonathan Taylor had. Following him, you have James White, who was a backup for most of his career. But then when he got the keys handed to him, I should say, he took full advantage of that. But before those last 4 guys I just said, John Clay was the main dude at Wisconsin. Until Monty Ball arrived, obviously. Then you got Corey Clement, pretty recent guy. I believe he went on to win a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Following him, you have Braylon Allen, who I believe is going to be a sophomore this year in 2022. Heisman dark horse for me. I don't think he's going to win it, but there's a good chance he can have a Kenneth Walker type year. But maybe he could get invited. I believe Kenneth Walker should have gotten invited last year, but I believe Braylon Allen has a chance to. And then Anthony Davis and P.J. Hill round out the list for Wisconsin. Moving on to the Ohio State University. Archie Griffin tops the list, the only 2-time Heisman winner. I think he's undisputed best running back in the history of Ohio State. Following him, you have Ezekiel Elliott, 3-game run of all time in 2014. Big Ten Championship, Sugar Bowl, and then that National Championship. I believe he went over 200 yards in every game, over 250 in one of them. He did it against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Enough said there. Then you have Eddie George, Keith Byers, and Beanie Wells following Zeke. I've got J.K. Dobbins down there with Beanie, Antonio Pittman, Boom Herron, and lastly, Travion Henderson. Most of you probably know who that is. Might be the best running back in college football in 2022 and 2023. He still has 2 more years of eligibility. I believe he has a good shot at winning the Heisman this year just because Ohio State's a passing offense and he can really do it all out of the backfield. Let's see Ohio State, Buckeyes. Then in Wisconsin, tied for number 2. Right behind number 1, the Alabama Crimson Tide. As many of you probably guessed, there's not a hole in this list for Alabama. Starting at the top, you got Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram, Sean Alexander, Eddie Lacy, TJ Yeldon, Bo Scarborough, Damian Harris, and Josh Jacobs. Now, if I've ever seen a list of good running backs, that is one right there. Derrick Henry ran for over 2,000 yards. I believe he had 28 touchdowns in his Heisman year. Also went on to win a Natty. Trent Richardson, he finished in the top 5 in Heisman, I believe, in 2011. He also won a national championship. Najee Harris, he finished top 3 in the Heisman in 2020, also won a national championship. Sean Alexander, he did not win a national championship, but he did go on and have a solid career in the NFL. Eddie Lacy, 2012, when he finally was the main guy, he took full advantage of that, went on to beat Notre Dame, ran for, I think, over 150 yards in that game, on way to winning a national championship. TJ Yeldon, he also won as the backup in 2012, a natty. He might be the most productive over a whole career besides Najee Harris on this list. I believe he went over 1,000 yards in every single season on limited carries multiple years. Bo Scarborough, Damian Harris, and Josh Jacobs. I have all three of those guys pretty much in the same range, same tier level. I believe Bo Scarborough is probably the most underutilized running back Alabama's ever had. And they went from Derrick Henry, and then they had Bo Scarborough and Damian Harris back there. I feel like they could have used Bo Scarborough just like Kirk. Same build, and that 2016 Peach Bowl against Washington really showed that. Josh Jacobs and Damian Harris, it looks like they're going to have very good NFL careers. Damian Harris, a good rookie season. Josh Jacobs has been balling last couple years. So that's going to do it for this video. 1 through 5. Of the RBU series. I want to know your full 1 through 10 list. Just remember, once again, you guys can change the teams, but I would like to see your top 10 RBU teams. Maybe switch it up a little bit to your liking. I know my list isn't perfect. I don't expect anything to be perfect that I do on here. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one.